Now let's talk about how to delegate assertively in the workplace as an emerging leader. I know that delegation can be daunting. Maybe you've tried to delegate in the past and it didn't work, or maybe you've tried to delegate to somebody and they gave you pushback. You know, delegation isn't something that's taught in formal education, so most emerging leaders don't know how to do it effectively. But in this video, I'm going to share with you my winning strategy on how to delegate assertively as an emerging leader. This strategy works for my clients, it works for me, so I know it can work for you too. But before we get into the content, if this is the first time you are watching this channel, I'm Cara Ronan, and I work with emerging leaders just like you to help you build visibility and influence so you can unlock your leadership potential. I'm also a 2-time best-selling video course creator on the Udemy platform. I have a course called Business Etiquette 101 and another called Assertive Communication Skills Masterclass, and they're both best-selling courses. I'll link to them below if you want to check them out. Now, on this YouTube channel, I release videos every week for you, for emerging leaders, to help you build visibility and influence. If you want to get notified of those videos every week and make sure you don't miss out, subscribe to this channel and hit the notification bell. So let's get back to delegation and how you can delegate assertively at work. So I found through my clients that there are really 2 problems when it comes to delegation. The first is emerging leaders don't know how to do it, and the second is they don't know how to do it effectively. Now, this is not your fault. You know, delegation isn't something that's taught in formal education. So you're probably learning how to do it on the job and from seeing other people around you do it. But if you don't delegate, or if you don't do it effectively, what it leads to is tasks not being done or done properly, which means you have to do them instead, which then leads to overwork and overwhelm for you. Now, I know that overwork and overwhelm are major issues in today's workplace that a lot of emerging leaders are facing. But one of the ways you can avoid this and get it out of your work life is if you learn how to delegate to other people. Now, as you grow into the leader that you want to be, you will need to learn how to delegate. And in order to delegate, what it really comes down to is the ability to communicate assertively to other people, the ability to make clear requests when you want other people to do things for you. Now, this is something that I do teach in the Assertive Communication Skills Masterclass that I mentioned at the beginning of this video. So again, if you want to check that out, because I think it will really help you around the area of delegation, I will link to it in the description below with a discount coupon so you can check it out and maybe purchase it if you think it's the right fit for you. Now, in this video, I'm going to teach you my technique, my winning strategy on how to delegate assertively, and it comes in 3 parts. And what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to start by sharing an example with you so you can see the full structure of what it looks like, and then I'm going to break it down each step by step and go into the behind the scenes of what the components are so you can understand the whole structure a lot better. And I'm going to use the example of asking somebody to complete a report by tomorrow morning. So the full example is, Monique, I need you to finish the XYZ report by tomorrow morning. Do you think you can manage that? Now, this is a full example of how to delegate assertively to somebody in the office. So let's break this down and see what the different parts are. The first thing I do is I start with that person's name. Now, I don't know about you, but whenever I hear my name in conversation, whenever somebody addresses me by my name, it makes me more alert. It makes me think, well, that person has something important to tell me, so I better listen. And it's going to do exactly the same thing for you or for the person you are delegating to. So starting the request, starting your delegation with that person's name will help make them alert and will set the stage for everything else that you have to say. I found that it's extremely effective in emphasizing your assertive message when you use the other person's name. Now, the reason for this is because you are directing your communication to one person in particular. You're not trying to be indirect or hide by not using their name. You're being direct, you're being honest, you're being upfront about what you are asking them by using their name. You're not trying to hide anything here. And that's one of the keys to assertive communication and delegating assertively to other people. So when you're trying to delegate assertively, when you want to delegate assertively, use the other person's name. And the second part of this example uses a direct request where I say to the other person, I need you to. And in this example, I said, I need you to finish the report by tomorrow morning. So what I find a lot of emerging leaders do when they are delegating for the very first time is they delegate passively, and they might say things like, would it be possible for you to finish the report by tomorrow morning? Or, I don't mean to bother you, but would you be able to finish the report by tomorrow morning? So both of these examples that I just shared with you that you shouldn't be using, they're questions. They're questions that give the other person decision-making power. This is not how you delegate assertively. When you delegate assertively, you need to make a clear request to the other person as to what you want them to do or what you need them to do. Because when you're delegating to somebody, you're not giving them a choice. You don't want to give the other person decision-making power by asking them a question on whether yes or no they want to do something, or would it be possible if they can do something. If you want to delegate assertively and get that other person to comply with your request, you need to say it directly. You need to tell them what you want them to do or what you need them to do. And delegating assertively will absolutely make you sound more like a leader. And the third thing this structure does is it gets buy-in from the other person. So it gets them to agree that they are going to do what you're asking them to do. It helps soften your message. It keeps it still assertive. You still sound assertive, but it helps to soften your message a little bit by finalizing it with that question. Do you think you can manage that? Which is really important when you're delegating in the workplace, because you want to maintain good, positive working relationships with your team, with the people you're delegating to. So adding this question at the end will really help you achieve that. If you finish your request or your delegation with simply, I need you to finish the report by tomorrow morning, it can sound a little abrupt. It can sound a bit direct, which doesn't help you develop and establish positive working relationships with other people. So if you are interested in those positive working relationships with your team, then by ending it with a question such as, do you think you can manage that? It helps to soften the message and it helps to maintain that positive working environment. So there you have it, my winning strategy on how to delegate assertively in the workplace, my 3-step strategy on how to do that. Now, before we wrap up this video, I want to recap what we covered. Now, the sentence that I used, the structure that I used to delegate assertively went like this. Monique, I need you to finish the XYZ report by tomorrow morning. Do you think you can manage that? That was the example that I shared with you in this video. I'm going to share with you 2 other examples so you can see what they could look like in other situations. So the first is, Jonathan, I need you to phone client XYZ and get them to send us through the documents. Do you think you can manage that? And Terry, I need you to take care of client XYZ's invoice. And Chris, I need you to call them to get their mailing address. Do you think you can both manage that? So there you have it, my winning strategy on how to delegate assertively when you are an emerging leader. Now, I hope this strategy really works for you. If it does, let me know in the comments below if you found it useful, and if you do use it, let me know how it works for you with your work colleagues. And if you want to learn more about how to delegate assertively, I have a whole podcast episode on that topic. So go over to episode 29 of the Leadership Pod, where you will learn about how to delegate assertively in the workplace. Now, if you did like this video, make sure you hit the like button, make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can get videos like this in your feed every week. And I will see you next week for another video, and that one is going to be about personal branding for new leaders.